structures, research, and as well as the other teams like electrical and as well as the software team. So next slide. So something that we're currently working on, me, a couple of the executive board, and some of the founders of this club is we're trying to create like a mission, kind of get you guys an understanding of what this club is about. So SARE to us, it's a club that like really brought a lot of things for us. It gave us, the opportunities of finding internships, learning new things with aerospace applications, with the NASA Minds competition. So it brought up a lot of curiosity, our passion for being part of engineering. And there's a reason why everybody chose, to be in their majors, because you're probably passionate about that major as well. And as well as having a vision, building up y'all's career for those of you who are looking for internships, or as well as making new friends, or even, learn about things that you can apply in engineering in the real world, not just in the classroom setting. And we could follow up with, some updates from the HARV in the next slide. So this is the agenda. We're gonna have some team updates with everybody, as well as some open discussion for everybody to ask questions. If any of y'all are new to the meetings, you're welcome, to ask us questions with the leads, and as well as some closing remarks. But before we go to the next slide, so this project that we're working on this current semester is a continuation of last semester's that we're working with School of Medicine. So we're working on this thing called a HARV. It's basically a clinostat, or a model microgravity machine that basically helps us with researching with bacteria, fungi, or any little like bacterial or cell-sized items that we could test. So instead of testing up on the International Space Station or with zero gravity, you have this little machine that can basically just mimic how it feels like to be in outer space. So that's what we're doing for SARE. And this project is something ambitious. It's going to be actually something that's going to be continued as a PhD project later on after this project is done with our professors Dr. Guadarrama and Dr. Marquez. We'll go with the next slide. So Johnny, this is Johnny. So yeah, Johnny. He's our structures lead. He's going to be presenting what structures I've been doing this past semester, and as well as like the next updates for the harvest.
Nice to see you all. My name is Johnny. So what we've gotten done so far in terms of structures is we have our first mold prototype for the HARV. We did have a resin printed version that did come out. Unfortunately, the supports did break off of it and it took a chunk off of it. So we're going to try to assess what's a better route to go right now of going with the molded or with the resin printed, which is less time consuming and also better for material pricing as well. Next, we have some assembly models. We have this bevel gear configuration that's put together, and we're going to be continuing with the progress with that and building off of what actually is going to be connecting to those connecting shafts and the motors that are going to be in place, the shell that's going to be surrounding everything, and the placement of those lubricated ball bearings. And finally, our automation side. We are going to be picking that up with a linear actuator, and actually Hector's going to be leading that front. He's going to be my co-lead in that aspect, and we have a good team under that. And they are going to be working alongside the electrical team with Jesse, and in tandem they're going to be able to create that system that will create our automation system for that syringe injection. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. We've decided on what our automation is actually going to be, and also how we're going to tackle that side, and the progress on the other two fronts has been pretty steady. I would say the only thing that has been a little bit slower is probably the internal supports, but I will say that we have a good team of about 3 or 4 on that right now. Other than that, any questions or anything?
Awesome. Let's move on.
All right, well, thank you.
Up next is software. Really quick, who's here in the software team, by the way? All right, so.
Do you want me to speak?
Yeah.
I don't see you, don't
You're
I?
Sam. Are you
I'm
Sam?
Sam.
All right, nice to meet you, Sam.
Okay, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, just to give a little update about what happened last semester. I know there was a little confusion about what was going on with software. So what happened was, in the beginning, we started working with Ruby and then Ruby on Rails, and that's where a lot of the focus of the team went. But as the project was going on, we found out it was going to be a little bit better to do React and then Java. And of course, if we're using React, we're going to use JavaScript. So that happened towards the end of the semester. So around that point, it was already final season, so a lot of us had to just focus on our classes. So over break, it was just taking time to kind of reassess what software is going to look like. And then Martin, there you are. So Martin and I were talking about potentially creating more manageable tasks for each software member, because originally we were approaching it with trying to get everyone up to speed with like an in-depth knowledge of the software we were using. But instead we're gonna approach it by distributing off more manageable tasks for each person. Because a lot of us are coming like midway through our degrees right now, so we're not like quite at those advanced levels yet. So that's just a little bit what we're doing. We wanna make sure software can stay productive for everyone else, as well as still be beneficial for the people in the software team. That way everyone's still getting some knowledge. And that's a little bit what's going on with us, so hope that helps.
Up next, we have the electrical team.
Hi guys, my name is Jesus. I'm the lead for the electrical team. So on the schematic, you'll see that that's our current progress. So currently we're using an ESP32 as our microcontroller, and it's looking and requiring to stick with the ESP32 for the remainder of the semester. And we have a motor with built-in encoders, which pretty much helps us establish our speed at our output, establish that as our feedback system. And then we also have a motor driver that we're going to use to be able to monitor not just the speed, but the PWM signal that we're sending to the motor, as well as separating and isolating our current for our high current motor. So currently we are using a power supply. We want to flesh that out, and using that PCB, it'll be a lot easier. So you'll see our PMAT and controls. So that's pretty much the two subsystems that are going to be on our PCB. PMAT stands for power management and distribution, and then our controls is everything else, our embedded and however it is we're going to send our signals. And next we'll probably be working on encoding our data, which will work with the software team to figure out how exactly that data for the feedback system is going to be sent back and forth. Incorporating more motors, since we do have further development for these for the electrical team. Some sensors that we plan to incorporate as well. However it is we plan to incorporate it, we need to create the wiring harness, the schematic for it, and then include it into our current electrical schematic. Speed control, since we did talk about varying the speed to simulate different levels of microgravity. Excuse me. So that's all going to be via the UI. So again, that's the software team, however we choose to go forward with them. And creating a wiring harness, which pretty much is a simpler way of connecting and disconnecting the entire electrical assembly from the system so that you're able to take it apart at ease. And we are planning on creating some sort of prototype soon for this to be able to throw it into one of the structures models and throw it into whatever it is. And if anybody electrical, if you guys have any questions, you guys want to join the team or you want to know a little bit more, just go ahead and reach out to me after the meeting.
Up next, we have the research team.
Hello everyone, I'm the research lead, Jenny. So to recap a bit on last semester's topics that we left off on, we kind of left off on a few things. So we were looking into like the type of resin we're going to use, whether or not we're going to use syringe caps, and then trying to look into the viscosity of our fluid and the certain RPMs that we should be using in the HARV. And so, in a meeting we had last week with just team leads, we kind of wrapped up a few of those topics, and we decided that regarding the equation with the gravity and the RPMs, going into that research can take months, and then we just don't have that time frame. So we're going to talk about that in our systems paper that we have to submit to the board. So that's like wrapping up on last semester's topics. So this semester we want to start on our CFD, which Martin will take the lead in for us. And then we do have to look into the Syndicon manual to see if there's any calibrations we have to include in our HARV, and sort of use that as a reference. And then I want to start organizing what research is going to go into the systems paper and develop an outline. And then we also have to reach out to bio majors to help us write about the bacteria and make sure we have like the knowledge to include and we don't get anything wrong.
If you guys have any friends that are in the biology department, please feel free to, help us out with the outreach there, because we definitely need some help with, learning a lot of these things with the pseudonyms as well. All right, what's the next slide? All right, fundraising and events.
Yeah, I'll take care of that one. I really like that. Oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous right now.
You're good.
I really like that research talked about outreach. I know a lot of you guys are engineering majors, really whatever field. I'm a business major, so it's kind of weird seeing me here. However, I do like to expand kind of my knowledge on everything. So it's good that research talked about, reaching out to the biology majors, and this is kind of where you can also learn some of those skills like that. So I cover two bases. It's the fundraising and outreach. So you can see up there, I'm starting to create a little bit more ideas for the fundraising. A lot of them are going to be here on campus, usually like with food. I'm also, as you can see up there, we have like the hot dogs and the coffee. Something that we can do like a little video with, something that's fun for us, just so that people here on campus can know about us. Whether it be in the engineering side, because I'm sure a lot of you guys probably visited this area, of course, but like saw the posters about that. But also on the other side, because really fundraising is all about getting the money to fund y'all's projects, because I'm sure you guys need the PCBs and all that such. So it does take some money. And the other one is also events. It's really important that the community knows about us, not only because we do get money from the community. Tomorrow we're doing a 7 Brew running event, so it would be good if we wore some of our shirts or something that ties us into the club, so that potential sponsorships know about us. I come from a Boy Scout background, so I also had to fundraise for my own project, and the only way that I was able to accumulate probably around about $1,000 in like wood materials just given to me free is because they know about the whole Boy Scout background and what that really means. So if we tell like the community, if we show the community, whether that be here in Edinburgh, McAllen, Mission, because I'm sure everyone's from everywhere. I'm from Alton. You probably don't even know where Alton is. However, it's important that they know, because you don't know who's going to be going to these events. You don't know who's going to be walking through the halls. I'm sure a lot of you guys work jobs, and in your workplace, there is sometimes a budget for clubs like this. Why? Because we're a nonprofit organization. You guys are the engineers. They want to fund that. So if you do want to help out, there's a QR code. I'm also going to be posting it on the Teams chat. If you'd like to help out with the fundraising, roles like that could just be calling places. If you want to build up that confidence of talking to someone on the phone, just standing up, I was a little hesitant. However, I've done this before, so it's a little bit easier for me. If you want to be a part of sending emails, I know for me, I'm a lot better just talking, person to person on the phone. I kind of do, take some time to respond to emails. However, that might be a base that you could cover. So everyone here, I really do push you to join the team, because at the end of the day, this is for us. All the money that we get could either be for research, for electrical, for structures over here, and you guys are all a part of the SARE team. So appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Alright, well, that concludes all the things. I hope everybody's kind of updated with what's going on here with the club, and definitely help us out with any like the outreach as Yaida's mentioned. If you want to change teams, try other teams like the research, electrical, or structures. It doesn't matter. We're open to ideas as well for the HARV. So if you guys have any ideas to incorporate in the HARV, you're more than welcome to give it to us. So I really appreciate everybody being here, and thank you so much.